to head out to California, meet up with Jonathan, and we're going to do a little bit of a presentation and present Daily Vest at a summit to a group of companies in distribution. So this is sort of one of our first big trips, and just super pumped about it. Still can't believe that, you know, all the work we've done has kind of led to this point. Just excited to get to be with Jonathan, and really super pumped. Heading out to the airport right now, and kind of cloudy in Chicago, hopefully sunny in California. Morning. Made it to LA, about to meet up Jonathan now, and then head out to Palm Desert. There's my guy right there. There's my guy. What's up? Trying to make it work. Jay Dizzle, you know where we gotta go. We gotta go in and out. You gotta rock in and out.
Time for lunch.
Time for lunch. Look at this, beautiful. I can't really see it, but the mountains. Yeah, man.
Here in
Love
Chino.
Chino, in and out. Made it here, Palm Desert. Currently gonna go checked in the hotel. Gotta go check in for the summit.
You know it's official when your names are on the board.
We'll take a video of that. We're gonna do a speaker check-in right now. Get all that stuff sorted out. Chill a little bit, and then we're gonna meet back up.
Get started tomorrow. Let's go.
I love it. And,
fired up now. It's real now, baby.
It's real. And we're gonna do a little bit of a team meeting tonight, and then kind of regroup for tomorrow morning, and we'll take you through all that stuff too. So
with some boots.
more to come.
I was like, okay, registration.
Yeah, got Matt Johnson's there. Okay, so Matt Johnson, I know Matt Shank pretty well also.
We're here literally like 2 minutes, and Jonathan is talking to everybody, and he knows everybody. This guy is wild. This guy. That dude's wild. This dude's wild. Wild. Finally made it in. Been quite the travel day. From Chicago, we flew in the morning, at least for me, and then Jonathan came out of Knoxville. Both met up in LAX. Got a car, drove out. It's been pretty cloudy all day, which is, you know, I was hoping for sunny California, but sun's starting to peep out now. I guess we're sort of fully into the desert here. So we checked in, got our speaker badges, got our conference badges, got the lay of the land for tomorrow morning. We're going to do a talk at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I believe at 11 o'clock on lead generation. It's called the Distribution Dilemma, which I'm super pumped about. I'm going to go meet Jonathan and Chris, who's also part of the team, to kind of game plan around tomorrow. and actually catch up live. Just a chance to kind of really talk and jam with each other, because we don't get to do that in person at all, and it's all been through Zoom because Chris is out of Arizona. I'm in Chicago, and Jonathan's out of Knoxville. So it'd be awesome to do that in about an hour. Need to give the kids a call. Haven't talked to them all day. See how the soccer game went for my boys, and catch up with the fam. Just a quick update, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
We got the nets and the foul balls that come in here.
Conference room, learning about in-motion towel and tissue, Georgia Pacific, Gojo, Cascades, Johnson Diversity, Paragon Stretch Film, and Sure Tape, and Pregis and Rampack. I was given my territory.
Almost 6 o'clock here in California. The day for us to do our talk at 10 and 11. We're going to meet up around 8 o'clock, a couple hours with Jonathan and Chris to go over any kind of last minute details for the talk, logistics, technology. We're recording the entire session. Got to make sure all the audio is up and set. We have a dinner tonight with a handful of executives from a few different distribution companies, so that should be really fun. Yeah, we're really pumped for the day.
There it is.
Holy, I might ask if we can take that.
Oh yeah. So is this Director 4? Okay, so we're in here. All right, we're just checking out the room. Nice. I mean, nice. Perfect.
Sponsored by Sure Tape. Oh,
Oh, so they got, okay, the hook.
I get to be in people's grill.
So I'm thinking, let's just see.
I was actually spending a conference room very similar to this, learning about in-motion towel, learning about
100%. One of the even more critical finishing points that you can do too is that movement that you just made over here on the side. When you're standing there and you're looking, if I'm the customer and you're looking at me and you're talking right to me, start to walk back the other way, but then come back to that same spot. Plant again, and then make one more final point to me.
who's your customer? Who are the people that you can sell to? Then move. So start over here, come back. Who are the people that you can sell to?
So we were able to get some executives to do a podcast. So that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna go set up in the room downstairs, do a podcast with them, talk about hiring, talent, all that. So here we go. We're gonna go set up right now. We had 2 sessions back to back.
Yep, 2 sessions back to back, focusing on lead generation and growing revenue in 2023. And, this is the industry that I've come from. It's the industry that I believe, that I'm meant to serve. And it was really incredible being able to come back and to bring value to a group of distributors that a lot of them at one point were customers of mine throughout my time in the industry, or ones that I built relationships with. And to be able to come and serve them in this way and really focus on helping them learn how to find the people that they serve best and how to help their sales teams be more engaged and find more success and to grow revenue so that they can not only care for their employees, but make sure that they have longevity so that they can continue to find more customers they love to serve. And man, it was overwhelming this morning a little bit beforehand. I shared with you and Chris, who was here with us, that, I cried a little bit with my wife on the phone, just feeling incredibly honored and just blessed to be able to do this journey with you and to serve an industry I love.
Yeah. I mean, it's been really cool to see you. I think this is the first time I saw you live actually do your thing. I watched all the videos, obviously, but we never had a opportunity to do this together live, so that was really cool. One of the things I want to ask you is that, because I think I've always struggled with this, like for the people that attended, it's always when you go to these conferences and summits, like you can get inspired, like you get fired up, but the biggest challenge is when you get back to your seat, you get back to your office, get back to your desk.
Yep.
And you're sort of fired up, but you're like, where do I start? Like, do you think there's some takeaways from your experience? How do people bring home some actionable items?
Yeah, well, one, you've got to understand what's within your current scope of capability, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's important because we can get really excited about things, but we lose this understanding or the reality of the current state of where we're at in our business, and that there are certain things that are potentially implementable immediately, and then there's others where you have to understand that the leaders or the people that you have within your organization, and not in a bad way by any means, but they might not be at a current capability level to execute some of the things that you want. And so it's always about, who am I meeting at these events that where I'm getting fired up, I'm getting motivated, I'm ready to come back and help lead change within the organization? Who are the partners that I need to be building relationships with that can help me come and do that and make it a much easier implementation of change than a forced change?
Yeah, because I think sometimes the challenge is getting the buy-in from leadership.
Yes.
And the cool part is leadership is here
Yes.
at this meeting, where hopefully they're bought in and then can implement that to their team, which is really one of the very few areas where top-down sort of works,
Yep.
right? Where it's very difficult if this is a different summit where we have less senior people
Right.
wanting to make change.
Yep.
But I'm super pumped. We're going to talk to someone here in a little bit about recruitment, retention, which I'm super interested in because it's this industry is fairly new to me, but the whole recruitment retention is a challenge across every aspect of industry, vertical, and with the current economic state of people being laid off and just in general, I think people are doing things differently.
Yep.
The way they work, the way they want to make money, how they work. I'm super
people
interested now.
People are understanding they have options.
A lot of options.
A lot of options because of the internet and free enterprise and this solo entrepreneur movement. People are seeing that the gifts, talents, and skills that they have naturally been given and that they've developed throughout their careers are potentially a lot of value for other organizations that might not be where that individual is or had some of those experiences, right? And so one of the things I learned from one of my mentors, even when it comes to like just faith in general, but I think there's a lot of crossover. I mean, there should be always crossover into the business world, is that what might seem elementary to you could be revolutionary for someone else. And never discount that experience that you've been given. And so because of that, how do we, I think it's a change in perspective for organizations, which is why I'm so glad we were able to speak to leaders here, because it's not about how can the people you're recruiting, hiring, training, and working to retain. It's not what value do they bring to your organization and how do they help your organization be successful. The perspective shift should be, let's find the right people who fit us culturally and let's do everything we can to make them successful.
Yeah, or figure out the type of people we want to add to this culture to make it better.
Yep.
Right. I think that's the big piece. That's awesome. I think there's so many takeaways from not just lead generation today, but retention, recruitment, just straight happiness of people in their jobs.
Yep.
Yes, they have a lot of options, but also, do the people that have options have the capacity to get through the drought and get through like the trough of sorrow and some of the hard stuff you got to do to be in an industry for any length of time?
Well, and I think what was really interesting today that we saw that I think is a really interesting takeaway for organizations is, as I was going through my experience of onboarding and being trained in this industry 15 years ago, that if other industries would hear how us as salespeople were trained, they would be like, that's awful. Like, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at other sales industries out there like pharmaceutical sales and the training that goes into pharmaceutical sales before they send their people out. And, what was interesting is asking people after sharing my story, how many of you experienced a very similar situation, right? And all of them 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 12 years ago, 4 years ago. The onboarding experience is the exact same.
From a breadth of 4 years to 38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And realizing maybe a part of the reason why we're struggling in certain areas that we're struggling in is simply because we've never looked at, again, how are we bringing people on board and using everything we have as an organization to empower them to help them be more successful.
Yeah, and I think the startup space where I come from, in the tech space, it's very similar in the fact they're going through some sort of same challenges right now, because before that industry thought that happiness was ping pong tables, coffee on draft, beer on draft, happy hour, lunch, free lunch, and stuff like that. It only went so far. And people were like, I'm dipping out because I don't feel like I have a say in any of this.
Yep.
And when I worked in career education, the number one reason why people left is because they felt like they weren't making a difference.
Right.
Not necessarily how much money they were making, but they just feel like they weren't being heard.
Well, and I truly believe this. There's a great book out there written by, I believe it's Michael Floyd, but it's Floyd Consulting is what he does his work through. It's called The Dream Manager. And it's a fable, and the story that he tells is about a facility servicing company that they clean buildings and all this stuff, right? Which this industry serves, like it's one of their biggest customer bases.
Right.
Which I think is interesting. But the whole premise is they have horrible retention in their employees, and their churn with their customers are horrible because there's this constant onboarding of new employees who don't truly understand how to service the customer well, right? And they're losing money. And the realization that the person comes to in the story is,
Bless you.
The realization in the story is that the guy comes to is that people come to work because they have dreams in their lives that they need the resources of money to be able to accomplish.
Fulfill that, yeah.
And that the job of any organization is to help as many of the employees within their four walls to help them accomplish their dreams
and understand where they're coming from and what their goals are.
Yep.
Right?
And specifically be doing things to help people live their dreams and accomplish that life that they're working at your company to do.
Yeah, or just make progress, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Just something. And so, I look at that and that's everything we talked about today, and for people the takeaway that I hope that they walked away with is there's a lot more that we could be doing in understanding who we serve the best with our products, services, or solutions to empower our salespeople to go out and have the right conversations with the right people.
Yeah, amen to that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
awesome.
Well, we just wanted to record this and
thoughts and
collect thoughts, and
it's been awesome.
Yeah, and now we get to interview some more people, and
on to the next guest, and
on to the next.
let's do it.
Can't wait. Yes, sir. That's what it's about, right?
Right. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. You gonna drive Tesla, or you wanna? I'm gonna do it.
I'll go.
You wanna drive? You the LA boy.
This will serve as a final and immediate boarding call for United Airlines Flight 783 with service to Washington Dulles. I'll take a
Finally landed here in Chicago. It's around 11:30 and 11:30 at night, and I forgot how tough just traveling in general is for in any way, but even for work, it's pretty exhausting. Excited to get home, but just really just excited about what happened the last couple of days for business and relationships, and just really super pumped about what's going to happen and the continued work we're doing. And I know it's good, and I'm just really excited to get home though to the kids and to Lisa. I know it's been probably crazy for the last couple of days for them, last few days, and so heading back home now, waiting for, I think we grab a taxi or a train. Pretty late, but excited to get all this content together, and excited to be able to catch up with Jonathan and work with him, and Chris came down out to California, and it won't be our last time. It's going to be super fun
super excited about the things to come. All right, everyone. Good night.